All right, thank you, band. Thank you, cheer. That was fantastic. Can we get a round of applause for our band and our spirit squad and everything that they do for us here? Thank you, and good morning. My name is Jerry Scott. I'm Arkansas State's Senior Associate AD for External Communications on behalf of the university and the athletics department. I want to welcome everyone to today's press conference on a very exciting day for Arkansas State. I just real quickly want to walk everyone through this process. We will first hear from our ASU System President, Dr. Brendan Kelly. We'll then bring up our Chancellor, Dr. Todd Shields, followed by our Vice Chancellor for Intercollegiate Athletics, Jeff Purinton, and then, of course, Coach Pannone. Once Coach Pannone has finished his opening remarks, we will take questions from the media only at that time. So it is now my pleasure, and I am proud to introduce our System President, Dr. Brendan Kelly.
I couldn't be more pleased and proud to be with you this morning, because one of the most important things that we can possibly do in higher education is, one, recognize that nothing gets done alone. Almost everything we accomplish is accomplished by a team of people who are aligned on what they're trying to get the outcome for. And what our general counsel for the ASU system said a few weeks ago, 95% of success in higher education is who you hire. And I am really proud to be part of the team that brought Coach here to Arkansas State University. People who are great people, who want to pour into other people, are the ones who make a difference in organizations like this. And today, we get to celebrate bringing a great person, great family, and great coach to Jonesboro. To increase the excitement of that celebration, I want to bring up a wonderful teammate and leader, your Chancellor at Arkansas State University, Dr. Todd Shields.
Thank you, President Kelly, and sincere thanks to everyone here. Your presence, your dedication, your support drive all of our success. I want to extend a special thanks to Coach Brian Hodson and his entire team. Coach Hodson created a remarkable excitement and energy in our men's basketball program, creating a strong foundation of success upon which we will continue to build. I'd also like to thank Coach Destiny Rogers and her entire team, who did an outstanding job winning the Sun Belt Conference and reaching the NCAA tournament. This is an incredible day for Arkansas State University and Red Wolves everywhere. Today we take another step forward in the bright future of Arkansas State University. I'm excited and honored to welcome Coach Ryan Pannone to our Red Wolf pack. Coach Pannone has an incredible record of success across multiple levels, from high school to junior college, multiple international locations, the NBA G League, and most recently, the University of Alabama. At every step, he's demonstrated outstanding leadership, incredible knowledge of coaching strategy, it'll shock you, amazing success at player development, and networks that literally span the entire world. He has a tireless work ethic and insane focus, a deep commitment to player development, and genuine connections to his community. Just this past week, Coach Pannone joined coffee clubs across the city, met in country clubs for dinner, purchased hundreds of dollars from his own wallet of Chick-fil-A for students in the cafeteria, and bought dozens of pizzas for student groups across campus, and they were all very elated. All week, I've heard him repeatedly and sincerely say how much he, quote, believes in celebrating others' achievements, that everything is really about people, the importance of building strong, authentic relationships, and how excited he is to be here at A-State. His actions and values will help not only men's basketball, but A-State athletics the university, and our entire community. I'm extremely excited to welcome Coach Pannone and his family to A-State, and I'm very excited for the future of our basketball program. Again, many thanks to everyone here today and to Redwood fans everywhere. And at this time, I would like to introduce our A-State Athletic Director, Jeff Purington. Please join me in a round of applause welcoming Jeff to the stage.
Good morning. Jerry told me to keep this under 30 minutes, so I'll do my best. I want to thank Dr. Shields and Dr. Kelly. You know, we talk about it all the time, but we have such unbelievable alignment here, and that starts at the top with our system president, our board of trustees, who we also have here, Chancellor Shields. That's what it takes to succeed in college athletics, and if you don't have that, it doesn't work. We're fortunate to have that here. It's why we've had the success we have across the board in athletics, and certainly in basketball as well. I do want to recognize the mayor is here today. There you are, Mayor Copenhaver. Thanks for being here. Which also ties into what I'm talking about with alignment. Jonesboro supports Arkansas State University. Northeast Arkansas supports Arkansas State University. And we're all in this together. I do want to recognize Ryan's wife, Dr. Sarah Pannone. She's right here on my left. And they have 3 beautiful children. Raylan, you want to wave? There you go. Enjoy the moment. Dalia, right here. And Trajan, the youngest. I can already tell he's going to be a handful and probably running out on the court during the game, so we'll keep an eye on Trajan. You can't do what we do in college athletics without a great family and support system behind you. I can attest to that. My wife is driving our kids to Birmingham, going the other way, which you just came, for a travel volleyball tournament this weekend. So they wanted to pass on their regards too. Like Todd said, I want to thank Coach Hodson, his staff, and the players for what was accomplished these last 2 years. 2 20-plus win seasons, a Sun Belt regular season championship, a school record 25 wins this year, NIT appearance, and multiple national TV games. We also led the Sun Belt in average attendance at over 5,000 a game this season. So I want to thank a lot of you in here, our fans and donors that made all that happen. It was a great environment at First National Bank Arena. A lot of people that I talked to mentioned that during the interview process. People that don't live anywhere near Jonesboro, Arkansas, saw us on national TV, and that led to much greater interest in the job. We've really elevated the program, our athletics department, and our university. I know everybody asked about the timeline when these coaching changes happen, so I'll give you my crazy whirlwind last couple of weeks. We were up in Hartford, Connecticut, so I want to congratulate Des and our women's team again up at the NCAA tournament. From there, I was going to fly to Dallas to watch the men play North Texas, so I got on a 6 a.m. flight, left our Holiday Inn at 4 a.m. to make that flight happen. Got to Dallas, went to our NIT game, flew back to Memphis the next Monday, and then I'm driving back to Jonesboro. I get a call from Coach Hodson, and I'll say this, Brian did a really good job of keeping me abreast of the situations because he had a lot of schools interested in hiring him. And then later on Monday, he let me know that South Florida was going to make the offer and the announcement later that day. So obviously, immediately I talked to our leadership, reviewed the list we had put together in terms of potential candidates, and figured out our game plan. Dr. Shields, Dr. Kelly, Brad Phelps, myself, and Jerry Scott made up the search committee, so I want to thank those individuals specifically. Kind of rolled the dice, including Jerry, but he did a tremendous job. Jerry's my guy. We had meetings and calls throughout the week, getting everything wrapped up and putting out the press release Sunday afternoon. So it was a crazy 6-day period. Same for Coach Pannone. They finish in the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament. He gets back to Tuscaloosa, goes to his house, takes an hour to pack up again, and then drives to Jonesboro this past Sunday night. As he's driving in, we have the tornado warning, watch, everything going on. So about 7 o'clock or so, he calls me and he said, hey, I'm almost at Embassy Suites, and we were going to meet him there and kind of go over things. The sirens are going off, and he kind of asked, like, what do I do? I said, I'm not really sure. I said, just get to the embassy and we'll figure it out from there. So couldn't even check in his room, so we sat in the ballroom with a bunch of other families. Coach Patchell was there with a track recruit. There was a lot of dogs roaming around down there. But after a few hours, he was able to get settled in a little bit. As we did 2 years ago, when we went through this process, I spoke with a ton of people in college basketball. Nate Oates, of course, Jay Billis, and really got some feedback from them, and they helped solidify some of our thoughts as we worked through our list. We had a lot of interest from all levels of basketball, head coaches, high-level assistants. It's challenging this time of year because you're working around NCAA tournament, NIT games. Years ago, you could just go to the Final Four and sit around and interview coaches and talk to agents and kind of go from there. But this is a different day and age for sure. We talked to so many good candidates, but Ryan really stood out and separated himself as we went through it. He has experience at all levels, as Dr. Shields mentioned, and has a plan for developing student athletes, both as players as well as people. He has an extensive basketball background, and if you read his bio, he's literally done it at all places all over the world. And you really should go look at where Coach and his family have been through the years. It's remarkable. In terms of style of play and offense, you saw how we played here. You saw how Alabama plays. That's what we want to do. We want to get up and down the court. Alabama the last 2 years, and Coach Pannone was a big part of guiding that offense, led the nation in scoring, averaging 90-plus points per game. Made the Final Four, the Elite Eight this past year, and I don't know if you saw the Sweet 16 game against BYU, but set a tournament record with 25 three-pointers made. That's how we want to play. We want to continue to set the bar higher at Arkansas State, where we compete for conference championships and go to the NCAA tournament on a regular basis. That's our standard, and Ryan is the right person to lead us there. With that, it's an honor and a privilege to introduce our 18th men's basketball coach at Arkansas State, Ryan Pannone.
About the same size. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
There's a water under there.
Perfect.
Thank you all very much for being here. First, I'd like to thank my wife. When you get this opportunity, a lot of people say you've sacrificed for this, you've worked for this. I'll be the first to recognize there's a lot of coaches that never get this opportunity, that have worked as hard or harder, as long or longer, have sacrificed as much or more, and are as good or better coaches than I am. I would not be here today without the sacrifice of my wife and everything that she's done to put me in this position. She's followed me all over the world. She's moved to different places away from me to support me and to put me in this position. And she supported my dream. With her are my three best friends. If you ask my daughter, depending on the day, she'll say her mom is her best friend, but she's a daddy's girl. We're going to win her over time. But I'm very, very, very fortunate to be here and to work amongst other championship coaches. Multiple coaches here have won their conference, have moved on and won championships here. I've been to the bowl, and that's become the standard. And without Coach Hodgson's success here, I wouldn't be here. Him and his staff laid the foundation of success that allowed me to be here, that I'm fortunate enough to get an opportunity to build on. Very few coaches get an opportunity to walk into a situation that has this much support. And they've laid the foundation, but really it's the people around it that have supported him and his staff and the players that he's been able to sign and recruit and win games that have put this university and this institution in this position. And for me, the opportunity to not just be able to take over a program that's had success, but to be around people that care. I think oftentimes, this is my first college head coaching job. I've been fortunate to be a pro head coach. You get the job and you do the press conference, and you don't really know. You don't really know what you're walking into. You have an idea. You've asked, you've researched, you've talked to people, but you haven't been able to spend time with people. And as Jeff Purinton said, when I was coming in, I was kind of on the phone with Darius from FCA. If people get a chance to spend time with them, and we're coming in around 7, and I heard a siren, and I was like, "What? What's this siren?" And Darius, as casual as possible, was like, "Oh, yeah, it's just a tornado watch." I was like, "Oh, yeah. Just saw the movie Twister, no big deal, we're okay." I'm looking left, looking right, making sure nothing's coming at me. And so fortunately, I got an opportunity to walk around and spend time with people. And I'm coming from a staff that had Josh Pierre that played here and worked here. And over 2 years, all they used to talk about was Arkansas State, how great it was, how much he loved it here, how the people treated him. And I got a chance to feel it. And I'm a big believer in this, in the experience that people have. And I think if you look throughout your own lives, my own career, you don't always remember what people said, but you remember how they made you feel. And in the time that I've been here, being able to go to the baseball game, being able to spend some time with students and spend some time with the supporters and donors and be at different places, you can feel that people care. And that's something that's important when you're trying to have success. Do people care about what you're doing? Because I'm a basketball coach. I love basketball. And to be around other people that care and support it was really important to me. And the opportunity that I have here, and I'm very big on gratitude and respect, is due to a lot of people. Number one, Nate Oates. I would not be here if Nate Oates didn't give me the chance, if Nate Oates didn't help me, put me in this position, give me an opportunity to grow. If anyone ever has the opportunity to play for Nate Oates or work for him, you'd take it in a heartbeat. He's the greatest. And when he came to hire me, I was with the New Orleans Pelicans, and I wasn't sure about moving into college. Some aspects I really wanted to do it because my favorite level is coaching high school because of the impact you have on young men. But I had a couple years left on my deal, so I just started interviewing Nate Oates. Said I really need the job. And I got a chance to ask him, what does it look like to be a good father and be a good husband working for you? Because when I die, if people said I was a good coach, I've failed. I've failed my wife, I've failed my kids, I've failed people. And his answer is the reason why I left the NBA and went to college. And every day he did everything he said he would do and every bit of human being that he is. And I hope I get to be the leader of men and the leader of a staff and treat people the way that Nate Oates does. And I surely want to have the success that that guy's had because he wins a lot of ball games if you guys have had a chance to see him. The opportunity to be here comes from a lot of people that have hired me. Any person, I'm a big believer in this, that hires you or gives you an opportunity, they believe in you. And for me, that's important in belief. As a young coach, I had a mentor of mine named David Thorpe that saw something in me that no one else did. When I spoke about my dreams and aspirations, I was laughed at. And he went publicly in a news article, I was a successful high school coach, and said, one day I'll be in the NBA. He got laughed at. I got laughed at. And people need belief. We're in the inspiration business. It's our job to inspire people to have a chance for what they can become. People have done it for me, or I would not be here. If I listened to the limitations that people have put on me, I wouldn't be here. If people that have hired me Dr. Kelly, Dr. Shields, Jeff Purington, Brad Phelps, the Board of Trustees, they've believed in me and given me a chance. And that's the business that I'm in. I'm in the inspiration business. It's my job to inspire young men that they can be what they dreamed of, staff members that they can accomplish what they're capable of accomplishing, while being able to impact and win on the floor. Most people don't get this opportunity. I'm blessed, I'm fortunate to have the path that I have. As Jeff talked about, I've been fortunate to live all over the world. I've been to 40 different countries. I coached in China, Germany, Israel, Slovakia, South Korea, high school coach, junior college coach, D-League before the G-League, before Gatorade sponsored it, G-League, the NBA, Alabama, and now here. What does that say? I've got a great wife. She's moved 15 times. And I wouldn't be where I'm at without the support and belief that she has in me. And the opportunity to be here and be with you and have a chance to build on what Coach Brian did and his staff did is something I'm very blessed to do. I'm very, very, very fortunate that I get this opportunity. The support that is in this room, the support of people that have reached out, I'm sure there's some people in this room I haven't been able to respond to. I have 2,000, get the exact number, 2,342 unread text messages that I'm trying to get back to people. Jeff talked about style of play. For those that got a chance to watch Alabama, I was hired 2 years ago from the NBA. Nate Oates hired me to run the offense. And they've been a terrific offensive team. And this is the type of coach I want to be. Coach Oates, people ask me, why is he successful? No ego. He hires the best person for the job. He expects them to do that job, and then he gives them room to do it. He's willing to learn and grow from anyone. As successful as he is, all he wants to do is chase knowledge and get better. In those 2 years, we led the country in scoring, both years, and we, over the 2-year period, had the most efficient offense in college basketball. So they offered me the job right before the BYU game. The contract was in there. My agent said, oh, you can wait to sign. I said, I'm not waiting to sign before these guys change their mind. Fortunately, we got a chance to sign after the BYU game, and we lost to Duke. And I think if BYU is the standard for how we wanted to play, we got an opportunity to set the NCAA record in terms of threes. Over the time in the period, we set the record for most 100-point games in the SEC with Alabama. And that's the way we play. And in order to play that style, you have to give guys confidence. I've never seen a player play his best at any sport, at any time, any country I've been in, that doesn't play with confidence and joy. And that's what I hope to do here. Breathe belief into these young men. I'm grateful to be here and to be in this community. If you get a chance to see my wife and I when we're out at the grocery store, we're out at dinner, please come say hi. Please introduce yourself. Because this community, you can feel, is a very tight-knit community that supports each other. And without your support from every fan that steps into the game, we wouldn't be able to have a championship-level athletic department, which is what the people have helped the coaches here build. They've hired great coaches, but Jeff talked about it, can't do it alone. And every coach that's in this room appreciates the support that all of the fans, the sponsors, the donors, the athletic department has given them. So thank you guys very much.
All right, we are going to ask Coach Pannone to come back up to the podium to take some questions from the media at this time. Media members, do want to let you know we have 2 wireless mics floating down each aisle. We will get those to you if you raise your hand. Would like to use this opportunity to let you get to know Coach Pannone. And so if you would, and for him to get to know you, if you would, before your first question, just please state your name and your affiliation. I
I want to say this because I think it's a big part. I say this to every donor and everyone I ask. Feel free to ask whatever you want. I'm going to answer anything as honest as I can. I don't get offended. I coached in Europe, and the people are, why didn't you foul up 3? Why didn't you do this? I've been in the fire. So please, I'll answer any question that anyone ever has all year long, after any game. Doesn't matter how tight, how close, how great we played, how terrible we played. I'll answer anything anyone has to ask honestly. I'm a big believer in this. Everyone in this room has a job to do. They have a job. They have to support their family. They have a passion. And my job is to help people support their job, media and anyone alike. So, ask away.
Coach Pannone.
Yes, ma'am.
Kara Ritchie with the Ticket Radio Network. I know there's a lot on the to-do list right now. Can you maybe outline the game plan for the next couple of weeks as you build a staff, recruit a team, and set the foundation for your program?
Well, we're currently working on building staff. We have 2 staff members that are here. Hayden Sowers. Hayden, if you'll step up. So Hayden was recently hired. Yeah, I'm a big believer of this. Most coaches, they only hire people that they know. And the reason behind that is loyalty. For me, loyalty is a character trait. You're either a loyal person or you're not. You're either a good person or you're not. How long you know it. I didn't know Hayden at all. And for those that got a chance to know Coach B, I got the job, and he texted me. He's like, Hayden Sowers, hire him. Don't screw this up. I mean, that's coach to the T. And so I didn't know Hayden, never talked to him, never spoke to him. Brian had recommended him really, really well, and everything who he was as a human being. And we actually had a lot of connections in common without ever meeting each other. And every person I called said the exact same thing about him. Unbelievable person, extremely hard worker, that can really coach the game and is going to push it. And so I had a chance to coach in junior college. He took over South Plains and one of the toughest JUCO regions in the country and led them to the Final Four this year, right? Which is an incredible aspect as a head coach. So we hired Hayden. And then Max Thorpe. Max Thorpe was a staffer with us at the University of Alabama. He was a player at Florida State. And so he'll be with us also. So hiring staff, communicating with the current players that are here, evaluating the talent and the roster that we have, building relationships within the community is what we're doing. And, people will say when you take over a head coaching job that the first 6 weeks is a whirlwind. They're liars. It's a tornado of chaos. Whirlwind is way too easy of a way to describe it. But I'm fortunate. We've got Amy Foster here in the background that she's done everything possible to try to take as many things off my plate to make this easier. And the other people that have been around, Jerry and Brandon, everyone's been here to help and push it. But we've got to hire staff. We've got to put together a roster and connect with the people in the community.
Coach Kate Carlton with the Ticket Radio Network as well. You touched on it a little bit, but what were some of the factors that led you to choosing A-State throughout this process?
The potential, you can tell. I've been fortunate. I was offered some other jobs over my time at Alabama, and somewhere in what is considered maybe a better league, maybe it pays more money. I didn't have a great feeling of the people. And I'm a basketball coach. I love the game. If my belief is that basketball should be fun, people should be enjoyed, that means you have to enjoy the people you're around. So I knew Arkansas State had success. I'd heard the way other people had talked about it. Obviously, I knew Coach B and his staff here. I mean, Brian and his staff here crushed it, man. They crushed it. And I knew you could win based off them winning. But then when I got a chance to really speak with Jeff and the excitement in his voice, and I'd heard about him during my time at Alabama, but to have success, you need vertical alignment. Trying to be a good coach is not enough to win. You can't out-coach bad situations. You can't out-coach people that don't believe. It doesn't matter how good you are. So I got a chance to speak with Jeff. And I was already excited about the job, and I called Oates right after. I was like, whew, that's the guy you want to work with. That's the guy you want to work for. I mean, he's invested. You could just tell his excitement about the program in it. And then I got a chance to do an interview with Dr. Kelly, Dr. Shields, the Board of Trustees, and it was really the people. I knew you could win here, but winning here is not enough for what I want with my life. And the people, and then when like I said, when I got a chance to, everyone I've talked to, I've said, man, I knew this is a good job. It's a better job than what I thought, because I had a chance to get out and connect with people before the press conference. I had a chance, you know, the mayor, how busy is this guy? He's like, hey, come down to the office, let's connect. I mean, you know, got him some coffee, some sandwiches, and he spent real time in talking about his vision for the community. I mean, that means people care, and that's what you want, and that's where you want to be.
Hi, Coach. Back here. Chris Hutchison at KAIT. I know recruiting is going to be obviously one of the big things moving forward. What are just the intangibles? What are the things you're looking for in a player for the team next season?
Good people and good human beings that also happen to be really talented individual players. I think we're seeing in society, and this is big for me, between social media, people, fans, coaches, people around forget that players are human beings first. Something that's lost within sports, the way that they're attacked online, the way that they're communicated to, the pressure young men are under today is higher than it's ever been in sports. This is year 22 for me. I've been a head coach for 9 years. Good people, number one, because everyone can talk about culture. And I've been fortunate. I was at the University of Alabama, and Nate Oates built great culture. One of the standards in culture in sports is Nick Saban, and who's incredible, by the way. I mean, you know, you've got a recruit. He's meeting with them on game day. I was shocked. They're getting ready to play the biggest games of the year, and he'll do whatever he can to help and support the basketball program. And this is Nick Saban. It doesn't matter how good you are at coaching culture if you don't have a foundation of good people. So that is first and foremost, because I'm not a coach for people that don't have a good heart. There's some coaches out there that are great at just coaching really talented young men that don't have great hearts and aren't good humans. I'm not that guy. Talented individuals that have IQ, feel, and skill and impact winning. I've been fortunate enough to coach teams in different ways. The way that we played, you know, when I got to college, they said, you're not going to be able to play the style of play at Alabama that which you played and coached in the NBA and the G League and at the pro level. And 75 to 80% of the system that you guys know from Brian will be similar. Analytically driven, play fast, free, open, shoot threes. Sorry for the players, limited mid-range shots. But there's about a 20% difference that I brought to Alabama in terms of what we do, and helped increase the scoring by about 9 points per game there. But in order to play that system, I look at basketball in a utopian light of you have to have an unselfish personality to play the way that we want to play. Then you have to have IQ, feel, and skill. And so when I got there, they said, you can't play that way. And I said, yeah, we can. Then we had 2 non-shooters. They said, you need 4 to 5 shooters to play the way you play. I said, no, you don't. We had 2 non-shooters in the starting lineup both years, and we led the country in scoring. I can manage the system based off different skill, but it has to be people that impact winning, and then taking their individual talents and utilizing it in a structured system on how to do it. I can adapt it either way. I've had shooting 5s, non-shooting 5s, shooting 4s, non-shooting 4s, shooting point guards, non-shooting point guards. But the systematic approach of how do you impact winning, because how you impact winning, most players and some players may not understand what really goes into that. It's got to be toughness. It's got to be competitiveness. It's got to be people that love the game of basketball and love winning. And I've coached at every level. Not everyone's about winning. There's a lot of players that love the game, but they don't love basketball. They love to play in the game. They love what comes from playing basketball. we need players that love the game, that love basketball, that love to work.
Coach Kevin Tuberville with the Jonesboro Sun. Wanted to ask you how your international experiences have shaped you as a coach.
First, it shaped me as a human being. You know, I moved to China at 27 years old, and I got a really good experience. You know, I was getting ready to go there. I was 27. I'd never really been out of the country, and I was talking with the team. I was like, how am I going to know who's picking me up at the airport? Are they going to have a sign? And they're like, oh, we'll find you. So, okay. So, landed, and literally like doing donuts around the airport, trying to find someone that would find me. No one picked me up, so I started to get a little bit worried. And I go outside, and there's a guy in a van, not a very nice van. He's calling me over to give me a ride. And I said, Foshan. He's like, Foshan. Foshan is the city that I coached in near Guangzhou. And I was, trying to tell, I was like, Foshan, long lines. He said, Foshan, Foshan. So he packs us up, he gets in the car. And we start driving down the highway, and he starts typing in a number in a calculator. This is 2011, so you don't just have smartphones everywhere. And I was like, no, the team pays. I don't pay. I don't have any money. And he's trying to call someone. It's like 6 a.m. I'm trying to call someone. He can't get a hold of anyone. I'm in China, and I'm getting frustrated that he doesn't speak English. How stupid is that? I was getting so upset that he doesn't speak English, and I'm in China. It's insane. And here they are, a country that's much older. And finally, I was able to calm down and put myself in issues. He's just trying to feed his family. And so I convinced him to take me back to the airport. And then the translator was there, and he came up to me, and I hugged him, and I felt safe. And coaching there shaped me as a human being and understanding different countries and cultures and the way that they do that. And there are so many beautiful things about each country and culture I've been in that you can take as a person that's going to help you learn and grow. From a tactical side of game, and I've said this at every level, the highest tactical game of basketball is played in Europe. It's the most advanced tactical basketball in the world. It is the NBA playoffs all year long because any single loss, you might get fired. You lose 2-3 games in a row in the season, you have a 3-year deal, they'll look to fire. They tried to fire me in the preseason. I lost 2 games. It was crazy. We ended up having a great year. It was insane. But that's the mentality there, the pressure that you're under. And it's the highest level tactical game in the world. And the way the game is played, in my opinion, is the most beautiful game in the world because everything's about the team, the unselfishness, the sacrifice. And so I took a lot of that. And what I love about the NBA, the speed, the analytical driven data, the amount of threes taken, which Europe's a little bit more slower paced game. And I implemented that everywhere that I went. It's a foundation of the offensive system, of their understanding of spacing, ball movement, player movement. And then recruiting. My plan is to be recruiting international players. And I say this, I've always said when I became a college head coach, I was going to build a team with multiple international players. And when you want that as a coach, it's great. I've got the relationships. We're going to be able to do that. What was really cool is when you're in a community that also wants it. And I got some time to spend with our donors and fans, and multiple people have said, hey, are we going to bring in international players? Our tennis team and our golf team has just had so much success with that. And when you have a community that wants international people there, that's huge in the recruitment. It's part of my pitch now. Like, it's not just me that wants you. The people here want you. And that's everything when you're trying to recruit a young man to move to another country, that everything's different. For anyone that's ever been overseas and has ever been in Europe, it's the first thing you're like, I just want some American food. Yeah, I went to Italy and I was like, can I have fettuccine Alfredo? And they're like, well, fettuccine Alfredo, that's not Italian food. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, what do you mean it's not Italian food? I've been going to Olive Garden for years. So being able to recruit young men, young women here, and the other sports have done it, but it's the people that have made them feel. We had the tornado in here, and I got a chance to spend some time with the student athletes, and I met a couple student athletes from Israel, and I coached in Israel. And so we got a chance to talk about different things in Jerusalem, life there, what's happening. And first thing they said is like, man, they like how warm the community made them feel here. And so goal is to recruit international players, and a big part of the sales pitch is everything I heard from our donors and our fans and the people that they want them here.
Hi, Coach Randy Myers. Randy Myers with the Ticket Radio Network. I was wondering if you had an opportunity yet to meet with the current version of your team as it exists, how that meeting went, what your impressions were.
First off, Randy, I'm going to state the obvious. You're having a good hair day, okay? And not everyone gets these opportunities. I want you to embrace this and empower it. You've got a good head of hair. I've had an opportunity to meet with multiple players, not everyone. Some have been out of town, some have been on visits. Some of it, in all honesty, I got a chance to speak with a young man today that we got a chance to meet this morning, and it took too long to meet with him. And I want you guys to know this. He described Jonesboro in this way, and I thought it was a great way. We're talking about, does he want to be here, does he not want to be here, is he happy here? And he said, Jonesboro is a peaceful place. And so I've gotten a chance to meet with some of the players and begin to build relationships, communicate with them and their parents. Some I haven't because they've been out of town. Some I haven't done a good job, and I've failed as a leader, and I apologize to that young man today, and that it was no sign of disrespect. I've just been a little bit underwater and trying to get everything together. So it's in progress. I've communicated my vision, what I believe, who I am to them, how I believe programs should be run, how I've run it in the past. And so we've got really good young men that have been a part of this program. Coach Brian, his staff, T. Butters, Jamie, they've done an unbelievable job of recruiting talented players that are good people. And so been in communication with them, working on it. If you want to help, go ahead. You can also tell them to stay. We'll take every bit of help we can get around here.
With the Herald Student Newspaper, how would you describe your coaching style and what you prioritize with the team?
Coaching style is about confidence and belief. I always say it, and you see versions of it, I'm in the player development business. It's how I cut my teeth. So at 20 years old, I got to work for who I believe is the best player development coach I've ever seen, a guy by the name of David Thorpe that took a chance on me. And his best skill is not seeing who players are, but who they can become. Being able to paint that picture, and he's an artist at filling in those skills. And most importantly, he's unbelievable at getting them to believe. And so I don't know, he's a little bit older NBA player. I worked with Kevin Martin for the majority of his career. Kevin Martin had played at Western Carolina, had a beautiful NBA career, scored 20 points per game. And he came in one day, listened to every statistic. He's like, if you do this, you're going to be that. And I walked out, I was like, he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He convinced me. I work with him every day. And his ability to get people to believe in what they can be and what they can achieve is how we're going to play as who I am. Because you can't play fast and open and free if guys don't have confidence, if they don't believe. The game is full of mistakes. Basketball is a game full of mistakes. I will make mistakes. I am not a perfect man. I am not a perfect coach. I will make mistakes. Players will make mistakes. Our goal is to help them make less mistakes. But when players have to worry constantly about making mistakes, they can't play with confidence. When we talk about mistakes, there's a difference. Is your mistake effort-based or selfish-based? That gets back to the core of who we're recruiting in our utopian version of a human being. Is we don't want selfishness, and we don't want people that don't have effort. But if you made a mistake, you made a mistake. How do we help you not make the same mistake again? And so confidence, joy will be a big part of the coaching style and what we need. And then skill. You can't shoot a lot of threes if you don't have guys that can't make threes. So the way that we try to break our players up, people think basketball in old terms of like point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. That's not how we play. We have creators, we have spacers, we have connectors. You can be two of the three. You can be a connector and a creator. You can be a creator and a spacer. And what I mean is this. Do you have the ability to create a great shot for a teammate? Jokic is not a point guard, but Jokic creates great shots for his teammates. He's a center, but he plays like a point guard. Can you space the floor? That would be a shooter. And are you a connector? And a connector may mean you're not necessarily a floor spacer, you're not a great shooter, but your job is to connect the offense. Your job is to think Draymond Green for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, to help these guys get open, to get the ball side to side. Each type of person has an unbelievable value to the offense. We wouldn't have led the country in scoring without our connectors. And every player brings value to how we're trying to play within that system.
Will Livingston from the Herald Student Newspaper. You talk about recruiting internationally. What are your plans to recruit in the state of Arkansas and the surrounding area?
I mean, we're going to recruit anyone that can help us win. It doesn't matter where they're from. Do you impact winning? Are you a good human being? I don't care about size. There's a lot of coaches that get, he's too small, he's too this, he doesn't do that. You have to be able to coach people. You know, it's like I had Jose Alvarado in the G League, and I begged for him to be on the team, and people were saying, he's too small. And I'm a big believer in this, like you have to coach people up. This is just an example of how I see the game, and I'm not right, I'm just different. If you're small, and take Mark Sears, right? Everyone talks about how small Mark Sears is. Plenty of 6'4" guards that can't do what Mark Sears can. That guy impacts winning. We've gone to Final Four and Elite Eight with him. And so we're going to recruit Arkansas hard, and what's been really interesting is the people from Arkansas love this state. It's like not everywhere that you go that people want to stay in state. It's just not always the case, but it seems like players are really open to it. And we're going to look for players that impact winning. And if they can impact winning, we want them.
Tristan Harlan, the station manager of the student-run TV station here on the campus of Arkansas State University. And I got kind of a two-part question for you, Coach. The first part is how do you plan to address the NIL situation here at Arkansas State University? And what's your plan for the transfer portal to bring possibly some returning players back?
Well, to address the NIL situation, we're very fortunate here that people care and people support. And this is my belief. If you invest in the community and you invest in the people invest back. So I don't see that as being an issue. I think Coach Hodge, his staff did an unbelievable job in connecting with people, and he had very good support. My plan is to do the same. He's laid the foundation, and that's one of the purposes of taking the job. Do people care? And so when it comes to addressing NIL, we have people that love this university. We have people that care. It's my job and our players' job to invest in those people to get them want to invest back. It's not the other way around. I'm a big believer in this. Everywhere I've been, NIL is new in college. I'm a pro coach. You've been paying young players from a young age. They get paid. And everywhere I've been, somebody's helping support that. There's too many people within college athletics that feel like a checkbook. All they're doing is just ask for money, ask for money, ask for money. We're not looking for that. Dr. Shields isn't looking for that. Dr. Kelly's not looking for that. Jeff Purinton's not looking for that. I'm not looking for that. We're looking for partners. And in a partnership, you have to bring value to that partner. You have to invest in that partner. It's not a partnership if all you do is ask and ask and ask. And it happens a lot in college athletics at this point, and people are feeling it. And when people give to something and they support something, it's because they believe in it and they want to be a part of it. Not because they just want to give up their money, right? That's the reality of it. And so that's our approach with that. For the transfer portal, we're actively looking at players that fit our mold in terms of good people, good human beings that have the skill set and the talent to play here. I think what Coach Bryan and his staff did, they did a really good job of getting high-level talent to come here and putting it together in a team and winning. And so we're trying to recruit high-end talent through the relationships and the player development that I've been in. that people around it know they're coming here to get developed. They're coming here to get invested in and poured in. As a result, we're going to be able to get some really good players to stay and some really good players that want to come because they want that. They need that. And I've been the same all over the world. NBA players, and you'll be surprised because people look at LeBron and Kobe and Jordan and all these superstars. Players need love. NBA players need love. Players from China need love. Germany, Israel, it's all the same. You have to love them. And I've been fortunate to coach a lot of really good players. I wouldn't be here without them. But the relationships that I've built and the people that know that I've previously invested in them are in position to help us.
Brady Morris of the Jonesboro Sun, kind of piggybacking off of what you said. I mean, one specific guy that's a fan favorite around here is Darren Ford.
Well, he's in the building. Let's give him a round of applause, baby. Woo! D. Ford! Yeah. But we didn't pay him to do that, by the way. So that was organic.
What are some of the talks that you've had with him specifically?
I've taken time to meet with a bunch of people here from academics, compliance, budgeting, and I've tried to ask every single people I've met with and every single group that I've met with about the people on the roster, right? Because, not from a basketball standpoint. Who are they? What do they believe in? How do they treat people? And I hope as a father, people say about my kids what people say about him. And I've told him that. I hope he stays. We all want him to stay. Everyone wants him to stay. But whether he stays or he goes, he's loved for the person he is. And that's the standard. The amount of people I've been around and I've seen, I've gone through, that he's impacted. You know, I got a chance to talk with Coach Jones, and we got to spend 2 hours in his office the other day and sharing ideas, and he's helping me along in the process of being a head coach here. And the smile on his face when he said, D. Ford was at practice, shows who he is. And he's impacted people here. The importance of him staying is great. We need him, we want him, but whether he stays or he goes, who he is as a person and how he's impacted this community is here forever. And so we want him to stay, trying to get him to stay, but it's his decision, his life, his future. But the people that are in this room and the people that are in this community have done a great job of giving him a heart of wanting to do that. But it's my job, and I say this to every player. I can communicate with you, I can give you the vision, I can show you, I can give you the stats. Get on the floor with me. Maybe I'm just selling something. Get on the floor with me. And if you walk off that floor and you say, I'm going to get better at doing that, this ain't the place for you. You walk off that floor and you say, I'm going to get better at doing that all year long. It's a pretty good place for you. And obviously the love that people have from here is the standard. And I got a chance to speak to his parents about it because that is what I hope for my kids. The impact he makes on people is the hope I have for my children. One day when I grow up to be an adult, I hope to have that impact. I'm not there yet, but I hope that answers your question.
Do we have any more questions from our media?
Thank you guys very much. Like I said, please, anytime you see me out there, reach out to me, say hello. We plan on being out in the community. We appreciate your support. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That was rude. So, thank you guys.
Thank you, Coach. Before we dismiss, I do want to echo what our administration spoke about earlier, and Coach, obviously, and thank our entire Board of Trustees for their vision and leadership. And actually, we do want to recognize two of them that are here with us today, Jerry Morgan and Paul Routon. If we could give them a round of applause, please. And thank you to everyone for the fantastic turnout. The great support is much appreciated. To the members of the media, I do want to say to J.C. Cox, if he is watching, we all know that you want to be here. We're thinking of you, and we are behind you. I also want to thank all our speakers and the Pannone family. Welcome to Jonesboro. Before we dismiss, we do have a few minutes if anyone would like to meet with Coach Pannone. And then also at 1:30, we have a meet and greet event up in the Woodard McAllister Club of the press box. We encourage everyone to come and be there for that event to meet with Coach also. Media members, we will ask our speakers to stick around for a few minutes. So if there's anything else you need, we can connect you with any one-on-one opportunities. But thank you again, everyone. Wolves up.